Even the narratives of the collection of the Quran during the first collection and the second collection, they do, many scholars tackled them and they pointed out, I underlined, you know, in the English part, the problematic pieces, historical problematic issues in the accounts, and why do people try to challenge these accounts? Are they fabricated? Were they later on, you know, written? And people forgot the details. For example, one of the interesting parts here is that here, this part right here, which in English, you know, it says, for example, when the first collection of the Quran took place, the man who was responsible for, who was the head of the committee, again, I mean, put this in parallel with the idea that the Quran was transmitted to everyone, and everyone knew all the information or all the Quran, and it was mutawatir, as we say. But then in this account, and this account is the official narrative, this is from one of the canonical traditions of the Bukhari. Okay, so this is the canonical account of the transmission of the Quran from the Muslim tradition. It says that there were two verses from the Quran that he did not find with anyone else, and they were only with one specific companion. Okay, he's relocating the parchments and poems from the memories of man who knew it by heart. And then I found with Khuzaymah, that's the name of the person, two verses from Surah At-Tawbah which I had not found with anyone else. Okay, again, we have to ask ourselves, so why these two men had two verses from the Quran that no one else from the companions of the Prophet had? Okay, so what happened to the idea that the Quran actually was transmitted to everyone and everyone knew the Quran by heart? If we are, again, talking here from the Islamic perspective, we are not even going out. So we compare this account with the other accounts from the Islamic tradition, we find contradictions. And what we try to understand is, why do we have these contradictions? And which narrative, is this narrative before the narrative that the Quran is transmitted, you know, to everyone equally, or it's the other way around? Or it's a vicious circle and we really can't know which one came before the other. And the other also interesting part of this account is when they collected the Quran. So first, the only copy was with Abu Bakr, the first caliph, and then when he died, the copy stayed with Umar, the second caliph. But when Umar dies, or when he died, the copy did not go to the third caliph. It went to his daughter, right? And that's also very intriguing, because we are talking here about a governmental, a constitution, which should stay, let's say, with the caliph. It goes from the first one, the second one, and it goes to the third one. But then when the second one died, it did not go to the third caliph. It went to his daughter, as if the whole matter, you know, transitioned from, you know, a governmental, if you want, space into individual place. Where why the daughter of the caliph would possess this codex and would not pass it or give it to the third caliph, which should be the case. And then if you compare, of course, with the second account, which is what we call the official canonization of the text of the Quran during Uthman, Uthman sends a messenger to her and tell her, please give us the copy that you have, okay, and let us copy it down. And this is where the first copying or the first codification of the Quran took place. And then Hafsa, she was the wife also of the Prophet and the daughter of Umar. She sent them the first sheets, they copied it, and they made multiple copies. And then he gave it back. Of course, we don't have these sheets of Hafsa or the first codex. They are lost, or maybe they never existed. And also those 5 different copies that from the time of Uthman, also we don't have access to them. You know, they either never existed or also they were lost. And this is basically a justification of what we call the 5 different codices. So we have the main codex, which is from Kufa in Iraq. And the second codex is from Basra, also from Iraq. Okay, they are different. They have differences also in vocabulary, in syntax, etc., and particles. And you have a codex in Mecca, you have a codex in Medina, right? And you have a codex in Damascus in Syria. So these are the 5 major codices. And in Kufa, you have one codex, but there are 3 different readings on Kufa. And this is what makes 7 in total. So 3 from Kufa, 1 from Syria, 1 from Mecca, 1 from Medina, and 1 from Basra, and these are 7.